a better, closer look. Rupert, is that you?
I don't know. I was coming back from a trade mission for the family to the east, and when I arrived to give my briefing, they set upon me in the dock. Don't leave me like this. I don't want to be like this.
Lieutenant, I'll take the lieutenant by the shoulder, and
Yes.
I'll say you go upstairs with the other guys.
No, I must be the one to do this. Reaches to his side and draws his dagger.
Says, I should warn you though, be careful, there's and she gestures at the sort of splatter where the leech was on the board, and says, a few of my men have come out with those things attached to them. Near as we can figure, they inject something into the wound so you don't notice they're on there until afterwards. You're not getting any magical emanations from them. The pool just appears to be particularly foul, stagnant water. And like I said, the statue just appears to be probably of one of the old Goman deities, but it's so badly sort of decayed that it's difficult to tell. Followed shortly by another, "Oh!" And you hear like a bit of a coughing and spluttering. You hear Latham's voice like, "Oh, fuck, no!"
Over here.
And then you hear a second voice near the waterfall being like, "Latham, is that you?" He's like, "Yeah, I think they're over there, Peter. Like, follow the sound of my voice." And you hear like the two of them like splashing over to you. And after a while, you're able to like help them out of the water.
There's something big in the water, lads.
And as he says that, the surface of the water explodes, and what looks like a slimy green tentacle bursts out of the water, sort of moving towards you all at speed. As you've all pulled yourself out of this pool, you hear this splashing as the water begins to froth and churn behind you, and you see what appears to be this seething mass of glistening, pulpy flesh that appears to have clusters of eyeballs dotted on it at random, dripping ichor and slime from this filthy sewer water. Ropey cords of muscles and tendrils burst out of the water, heading in your direction as you're all stood on the bank. What do you want to do?
I shall look over my shoulder, sweeping my sword out as I do so, and calling out to the others, "Get out of the water, I shall fend it off."
Okay, so people are already sort of scrambling out of the water as you sort of like you spur them on with your words. The last people out of the water is Peter, the member of the Sewer Workers Guild, who was guiding you. He's been pulled out of the water by Alan Latham, your potential hireling, the person you saved from the sewers the first time you went in there. You can see Alan sort of dragging him up onto the bank. You see Peter's like legs kicking against the soft dirt that borders this pool as he's seen this thing behind him. He's like, "Oh, fuck it up," as he's being pulled out of the water. Okay, obviously shouting that doesn't take any of your move. Lieutenant, what do you want to do?
I'll strike at it as well.
Okay, 6 damage. So you have quite seriously injured this creature. Describe how your mighty blow rains down on this seething mass of flesh and eyeballs.
Well, as I said, it was a one fluid moment of a looking and turning and swiping as I came out, and one of these tentacles, which was probably coming from one of the other guys, just gets lopped off.
Okay, so
Flaps about in the water.
Jackdaw, one of these tentacles is like sort of zooming out towards you. You can see the muscles distending. The lieutenant steps in to one side of it, swings his weapon down. There's like a wet sound, and the end of this tentacle is severed. The creature lets out a noise, and the the sort of stump of the tentacle flails backwards, spraying ichor everywhere.
Does it... Like, it doesn't seem to be giving up, or... Is it retreating as a result of the blow?
It's difficult to tell because it's just like a writhing mass of flesh. I mean, you can see like several like mouths on it, but they appear to... It almost looks like someone's just like thrown eyes and mouths on it and tentacles on it at random. So it's difficult to tell what it's thinking or what its tactics are, other than like, here come the tentacles.
Like it's not like receding back into the water.
No, it's not.
Yeah, cool. Okay. Well, I guess I will emulate the good lieutenant, and I will retrieve my bearded axe, and we're gonna go chopping meat logs.
Nice.
Here goes.
That'll be a miss then.
Yeah, I guess.
Oh, one off.
Yeah. That's my middle name. One off.
Okay, so you swing your axe. It actually thuds into one of these like small clusters of eyeballs, which do rupture, sort of spraying like fluids everywhere. But it doesn't appear to have done it any real damage. I mean, it's got eyes to spare.
World's worst assassin.
Yeah, I just I take off like a row of the eyes, just like a popping of.
You've turned it into a real art form, man.
Pretty much. There's a spray of vitreous humour as these eyeballs pop and the fluid sprays up into the air. But you maybe splattered about 5 eyeballs, and you can easily see like 20 just on the side you're on still.
Yeah, the more open. It's like, you what, mate?
You looking at me? Okay. So, Big Mick, you pull back out of the way, sort of like grabbing Pete and Alan.
Yeah, like, come on, lads, get back here, get away, bleeding thing.
Peter's like, you have to fucking tell me twice. As the three of you sort of scramble out of the way of it. Now, this creature has 2 tentacle attacks. Now, since we don't have you guys sort of like located specifically, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to roll it randomly between the 4 players and the 2 NPCs. So it'll be a D6. It's going to be a 1 for the Friar, 2 for Jackdaw, 3 for Big Mick, 4 for the Lieutenant, 5 for Peter, and 6 for Alan Latham. So let me just roll that for its first attack. Okay, so that is going to be the Friar.
Ouch.
It has hit you. You take 4 hit points of damage as this tentacle just like into your chest. It doesn't try and wrap around you or anything. It just like impacts into your chest with a loud, wet, slapping sound. Okay, obviously we can't see your hit points because of the 1 token, but I'm assuming you can all like take care of that yourselves. That's fine. Obviously, if you start getting like really badly injured, guys, since your friends can't see it, you might want to like shout out to them or whatever. But okay, so it's got a second attack, so I'll see if it's attacking. Okay, so shit. That is Jackdaw. Another tentacle lashes out in your direction. However, you like throw yourself down onto the ground with your agile assassin's reflexes, and the tentacle sort of sweeps through the area that your midriff was occupying. You see it's trying to obviously like curl around you and like drag you back into the water, but you throw yourself flat on the ground and it sweeps over your head. You feel the air like displacing your hood, knocking it back off your head as it sweeps back towards the water. Okay, now we come to the good Friar.
So, is there any way to flank this creature, or is it one of those creatures that has tentacles in every direction?
It's difficult to flank because it's not got the standard humanoid physique, unfortunately.
Okay, so I will call upon the Paragale, light up my fiery sword, and see if I can send this thing back to the depths where it belongs.
So you drive your fiery sword into the centre of it. The creature lets out an agonised howl, and its tentacles just drop flaccidly to the ground. After you wait a few moments just to check that it is actually dead, but then it appears to have stopped moving. It lies as this formless sort of mass that's slowly sinking back into the pool.
Take that, you bugger!
The heroes briefly consider searching the pool to see if there is anything worth salvaging in there, but decide against it, not knowing what dangers lurk below the surface. Discussion then turns as to whether they're going to try and find their way down here, or prioritise finding a way back to the surface. However, whilst they're having their discussion, you notice a couple of ragged figures, humanoid, moving in on the edge of your torchlight. That you can smell rotting flesh, and they appear to be shambling forward, their eyes glassy and their movements uncoordinated. There's a soft groan escaping from them as they shamble towards you. Perhaps
heads up, lads, we've got guests for dinner.
Okay, so they definitely are slow, right? Because you said shambling.
Yeah, they're moving very slowly.
Yeah. I will take my time and strike my best baseball player pose with my bearded axe, and I will keep my eye on them for the requisite amount of time. Hopefully I'll have enough until they reach us.
Okay, so obviously I'm going to quickly go through the party order, because anyone who's got missile weapons will get a chance to shoot at them while they're advancing. So, Lieutenant.
Oh, I'm all melee, I'm afraid.
Okay, so Jackdaw, do you wish to use any missile weapons?
No, I will pick and choose the spot that I will be hopefully striking soon.
Okay, Big Mick, any missile weapons?
Is there like a rock or something on the floor I can just like pick up?
There's rocks aplenty, my friend.
Yeah, I want to pick up a rock and throw it. Oi, piss off out of it! Get out of it!
Not a problem. Make me a D20 roll. You don't really get a bonus because it's like an improvised weapon.
Yeah. I don't care. Right.
It's a thought that counts.
Get out of it, bleeding.
Piss off.
Oh, go on!
Okay, so what I'm going to say with that one is, Mick, he's overestimated his strength a little bit, unfortunately. So he actually picks up a rock that's like really heavy, and as he like lifts it up like that, ready to throw it, the weight of it like drags him backwards, and he actually stumbles backwards and falls into like the shallow bit of the water with a loud. He's like lying amidst like the dead like tentacles of this beast you've slain.
I meant to do that.
Obviously, you've not taken any damage. You'll be able to get up next turn. That's fine.
It's just a cunning ploy to get out of it.
Okay, so the NPCs. So these creatures continue.
I was just getting dry as well.
Yeah, there always has to be one.
As the zombies shamble forward, Friar Dunstan notes the tattered red robes they're wearing and some embroidered symbols on the lining of them that look suspiciously like the scarification that he's seen on Jackdaw.
I would like to hold out my holy symbol and call upon the power of Gale and turn undead.
That is absolutely fine. It's on.
Gale in the house.
So as you incant in the name of Gale, holding your holy symbol up, a bright light seems to shine from it, sort of echoing the warm orange light coming from your sword. And as you watch, you can see a number of these creatures, almost as though they're sort of like being slowly driven back by an unseen force, and they start to fall back into the darkness.
Oh, wow.
You can hear this like as though this light pains them and they start to fall back.
Man, that roll was so good it's even lit up John's room, man.
That's the power of Gale, my friend. I can feel the power. Praise be Gale. Our band of unlikely heroes begin to follow after the shambling undead, the friar holding his holy symbol of Gale aloft, driving them back with the force of his faith. They take a couple of clumsy blows from the undead as they retreat, and they're just getting ready to push forward even more when Big Mick, succumbing to the damage taken in his trip down the aqueduct and from these creatures collapses to the floor with a groan, unconscious.
Classic. A delayed effect. He ain't that bright, you know. He didn't realise he was that bad. It's like in the cartoons. You're all right until you look down and you realise there's no road underneath.
As you sort of look down at him, sort of lying on the floor, you can see that where he was smacked on the side of his face, like a sort of a large bruise, which is pretty much covering half his face, has already started to like rise up below the skin. Attempting to minister to his companion, the good friar ceases his attempts to turn the undead, whilst his companions keep an eye out, and he bends to minister to Big Mick, calling on the power of Gale to heal and restore his companion. Since you're at -3, magical healing only heals you to 0 hit points. So you are on 0 hit points. So you're not dying anymore, however you're still unconscious.
Okay. Again.
So you need further magical healing or time, basically.
Rosemary or sage just won't cut it.
Indeed. I mean, don't even talk to me about Scarborough Fair. But Alan Latham and Peter pick up the unconscious form of Big Mick so that the party can still move. They begin exploring the caves as the sound of the zombies no longer turned and their groaning begins to get ever closer, the shuffling footsteps drawing nearer. As they explore the cave, they find a narrow passageway which appears to be a natural choke point and consider making their stand there, deciding to just have a quick look around before they stand there. They don't want anything creeping up on them unawares. As they shine their lantern around, they see a set of crudely carved stone stairs heading downwards into the darkness.
Downwards?
Indeed.
We don't want to go there.
Sure that they're safe from rear attacks for the moment, the heroes take up their position in the naturally formed choke point of the narrow passageway. As the zombies shamble forward, the heroes switch in and out of their positions, giving each other time to catch their breath, although they do find it difficult fighting in the cramped conditions of the naturally narrow corridor. Eventually, however, their strategic planning and positioning pays off and they are able to wear the zombies down, slowly beginning to dispatch them, watching as more and more of these shambling cadavers continue to advance, heedless of the fact that their foot falls on the dead bodies of their own kind. So the lieutenant starts staggering back and goes, "You got this, Jack. You got this, boy. You got this, bro."
Keep swinging. One of these days.
I'm right behind you, bro. Look at that. Boom. Roll that damage.
Don't know where one of those bonus points is coming from. But anyway, it was a 19 anyway. Oh, another 6.
Okay.
Again.
Another zombie obliterated. How does that go down?
But I'm just sort of wiggling the end of my sword around, just catching it, carving little bits off it.
Okay.
I managed to catch an artery, and whatever blood's left in it, just sort of.
Indeed, it staggers forwards a little bit, then sort of lifts over to one side and collapses to the floor. It jerks uncoordinatedly for a few moments, then lies still. Emboldened by the lieutenant's success, the heroes push forward, forcing their weapons towards the foe, and quickly dispatch the remaining zombies.
Okay. So I guess we'll have a quick route through the bodies and see if there's anything in them.
Sure.
Okay. Okay, you find 14 gold pieces.
Oh, nice.
The heroes begin discussing what to do next, but are interrupted by a strange noise.
Providing there aren't many of them like
As
down there.
As you're discussing this, guys, you hear from sort of from this direction, you hear an extremely ragged and quiet voice going, "Is somebody there? By the gods, who's there?"
So I will call out, "We're here, show yourself."
I can't. It's my leg. I can't move. Oh my God! Don't let those things get me.
Okay. So then, I think the fire would move towards the sound.
Okay, feel free to move yourself.
Okay. Where's the sound coming from?
Okay, obviously he's not talking at the minute.
Okay.
They say you knew it was coming from somewhere in this direction, whether it was from up there or from down there. Since he's no longer talking, you don't know.
So I'll call out again and ask, say, "Where are you?"
Oh, I'm on the other side of these damn rocks. And you can hear the voice is definitely coming from down here.
Okay. Oh.
Want me to take a look?
Yes, please.
Okay. I will do so, John.
Okay, that's fine. Move the token. I understand that it's just you going, but obviously then you'll be able to see.
Yep. So
You can see the
going
stairs
here.
heading down. Okay. As you're looking sort of in this direction, I can highlight it.
Yep.
There we go. As you're looking in sort of this direction, you can see what appears to be a man wearing ragged robes similar to the ones that the zombies were wearing. He's crouching down beside what appears to be more of this collapsed rubble, perhaps from a recent cave-in. There's what appears to be a long decayed body, a skeleton partially buried under the rocks. You can see it looks as though there's been another recent cave-in, and the guy who's lying down, like one of his legs is just entirely mangled. There's like blood soaked into the ground. His hair's wild and messy. He's got a look of slight madness to his eyes as he's like trying to hold his leg, and he's like, "Oh my God! Don't let those creatures get me!"
Is the leg like beneath rubble, or is he just like it's just mangled and he can't move?
It's just mangled and he can't move.
Yeah,
It looks as though he's managed to like drag himself out from under the rubble, but
Yeah. Okay. I will approach, on the lookout for potential ambushes from either side.
okay, so as you move forward, you can see on the other side of this robed figure is what appears to be a wooden chest lying on its side. Maybe he was carrying it and he dropped it when the cave-in occurred. Like I said, there's also this what appears to be a long dead body, like skeletal entirely, no flesh on it, sort of partially buried under the rubble. I'm assuming the rest of you sort of like move up now. You know, there's no sort of urgent danger.
Yes.
Yeah, I can like do the scouting and then the rest of you follow.
Mhm.
So, so I walk up, sort of using my axe as a like a walking stick as I get into the rubble.
Just a look of sheer relief washes over his face as he sees like you're relatively normal people compared to like what else he's seen down here.
You get caught in the slide over here.
He's like, oh, they came and took my companions, and I tried to run, and then there were rocks falling from the ceiling, and most of them fell on my leg. I managed to get myself out from underneath it, but I can't walk on it. I dragged myself behind the rocks to try to hide from those things.
Where did the whoever it was take your associates?
He says, but I was the last down here. I was bringing our goods down here, and then as I was coming down, I heard the sounds of fighting, and as I made my way down here, I saw these skeletal things. I don't know what they were. They were wearing armour, and they set upon my allies, and they were stabbing them with swords. I could see there was no hope. I tried to run.
I give a knowing look to the friar, like looking over my shoulder at the mention of skeletons came in. Where exactly did these skeletal individuals go, or where they came from?
He says,
I point.
I don't know exactly where they went. I didn't stop behind to look. I just got myself out of there as quickly as I could. I think they took they killed all of my companions. And I could hear the woman that we had with us screaming as we. And then a little bit of a look of shame comes over his face, and he's like, "But there's nothing I could have done. I'm not a warrior." And you see from it, as you're sort of bringing the torch close to him now, you see that from his like pallor, he's obviously lost a lot of blood. He is like pale AF.
So what exactly were you doing down here?
He says, we were just travelling through, travelling to somewhere else. We know a couple of the passages through this area, and we were just moving some of our valuables.
Who's we? Who are we?
Myself and my friends, we're one of the religious orders of Bishopsgate.
Ah.
Which order?
He says, we're from the Brotherhood of the Shining Truth. Now, when he says that, Fry, you're like, I don't know any Brotherhood of Shining Truth.
Yeah, that's my favorite kind of truth.
So I'll be like, I've never heard of that religion. What do you know about the prisoners in the sewers?
The injured robed figure denies all knowledge of the prisoners in the sewer and continues to represent himself as a member of the Order of Shining Truth, doling out details about their safe houses and the locations of their churches in Bishopsgate when prompted by Friar Dunster. However, the more the man speaks, the more the friar becomes convinced that he's lying or concealing the truth.
Okay. So, can I then ask him why his robes have the same symbols that the dead bodies being pulled out of the river have?
He says, I don't know what you mean. These are the symbols of the Order of the Shining Truth. We wear them on the robes as a sign of our dedication. Look, if you'll please just help me, my leg.
I look at the fire. I flip my axe, so I'm holding like the handle, and the handle is the blade is down at the top. I look at the friar as if to ask, like, do you want me to, help him? Answer.
As you're saying this, you see the injured fellow reaches inside his robe and he takes out what appears to be a small glass bottle, and his hands are trembling quite badly because he's lost a lot of blood, and you can see he's trying to pull the cork off it, but he's obviously quite weak.
So I will pull the bottle out of his hand and ask him what it is.
He's like, please, it's the last I have. It's a healing elixir made by the brothers of my order. I was saving it until I was sure the coast was clear, but I didn't think even with that I'd stand a chance against all of those things. But since you've made it through, it must be possible.
I don't think that's
please.
True. If you have a healing tincture here and your leg is broken and you're afraid that you're going to die, are you going to keep the potion? Don't lie to me. And I raise the axe handle as if to I'm going to beat you.
He's like, I swear it's a healing tincture. If you wish, try a small sample of it. You'll see that no harm comes to you.
Yeah, which is what I would say if I wanted to make someone drink poison voluntarily.
Surely you don't think I'm silly enough to poison someone whilst his well-armed companions are stood about me?
Well, I'm getting kind of the impression that you're a bit thick.
You mock me, sir. You would not mock me so, or right less injured.
No, I would do something else entirely. At that point.
Jackdaw, let us give this priest a sip of the elixir and see what happens.
Yeah.
He nods enthusiastically when you say this.
Either way, we're good. I don't mind.
So you give him like the tiniest little nip of it, not enough to like for the full effect of whatever it is. But as he takes a nip, you do actually notice like a little bit of colour comes back into his cheeks. And there's like a pleasant sort of floral smell as you like, boom, take the cork off.
Okay. So I will hand it to the lieutenant and suggest that he gives it to Big Mick.
He's like, no, please, I need that for my leg.
You need to start telling the truth.
I am telling you the truth. I told you it was a healing salve. It is a healing salve.
That actually seems true, so I tender my apologies on that front.
He's like, look, just get me out of here and you can be as insulting as you want. I don't want to die down here in the dark.
Well, then you should start telling us the truth about what you are doing down here and who you are.
Okay, again, make me a charisma roll. Now you're starting to get a bit more sort of intimidation.
Oh, shit.
Okay, so Mr. Super Intimidation comes in at this point. So would you like to add any sort of flavour to like your attempts to intimidate / persuade him now you know that like...
So what I would like to do is lean forward in his general direction and then kind of stumble a small bit and end up stepping on his mangled leg.
He's like, ah! As you do that and you're like, you should start telling the truth about it. Fine. I'm from the Brotherhood of the Laughing God.
Okay.
I flip my axe the right way up again.
Okay, so tell me about your Brotherhood very quickly.
He says, we're an order started by a noble. We follow one of the ancient gods. I don't know the details. I just got in it. They promised me wealth and power, and they delivered on it.
Who's the noble?
He says, look, I can't tell you who killed me.
I will kill you right now if you do not tell me who the noble is.
I'm assuming you'll put a bit more pressure on his leg when you say...
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Like, fine. It was Uffington, Boris Uffington.
Okay.
What? I shall leap upon him.
You sort of grab him by the scruff of the neck. So you're sort of holding him by the scruff of the neck, and you've got the friar tromming his leg, and he's like, ah.
I've still got hold of the healing potion.
Yeah.
I look over at Mick and then look over at this man. Oh, damn.
I extend my hand because it looks like you're busy. I extend my hand to like get the potion.
All right. I won't resist.
Yeah.
I was going to feed this man. He must remain alive. He's the proof that my father.
Yeah, but Mick's out. So
He is. Good.
and we can make Mick carry him out.
I like the way you think, and I'll drop this block back on the floor.
Yep. So I'll get the potion. I'll get to like holding Mick's like head up and like feeding it to him, making sure he doesn't choke on it.
Okay, Mick, you regain 6 hit points. So
Nice.
you've gone from like zombie smackdown, unconsciousness, not knowing what's going on, to suddenly like feeling like vitality flow back into your limbs. There's a pleasant taste like elderflower in your mouth as you like suddenly like, and you're
Let
awake.
me at him! Go on, get out of it.
You see Jack does up backing away, like holding like an empty like, glass vial.
Get off me! Wait! Get off me, zombie!
And in the background, you can hear this voice like, "Please get off my leg!"
Yeah, well, welcome back to the world of the living.
Oh, that's better. Oh, what's up with him over there then?
We have a new friend, and Well, we'll see how it goes. The friar is putting the screws on him.
We prefer to call that having a little chat.
Yeah. So with that, I will ask this. I should probably ask his name. What is your name?
He looks at you and he says, he's like, Lawrence Goldwell.
Okay, Lawrence. So tell me where you were moving this treasure.
He says, well, we've got a safe house in Bishopsgate. One of these tunnels leads to the cellar. We're taking it there.
And where was it coming from?
He says, we had a base in the sewers, but we're conducting one of our ceremonies of worship there. But we heard about a couple of days ago. We heard these loud noises and sounds sounded like combat of some sort, and our leader said we'd perhaps been discovered and we should relocate. As one of the newer members, I was tasked with bringing the small amount of coins we had with us. Okay. Do you know which tunnel leads to the cellar? He says, no, like I say, I'm a new member of the order. I was simply following the others. That's why I was told to stay behind and carry the chest. That's why I'm not trying to get away from here. I don't know where I'm going. Now I didn't even have a light until you arrived. I had no way of finding my way out, and I certainly wasn't going to risk it in darkness. Okay. Can I search his pockets, etc., and see what else he's carrying? You most certainly can. Okay. He doesn't appear to be carrying anything in his pockets. Obviously, the chest's lying next to him. Yeah, so then I'll move over and open the chest. Okay, he's in no state to resist this in any way or sort of try and get you to stop. So let's see if you'd actually show me some of this, that'd be cracking. Roll 20.
What's the currency, John? Is it pounds?
Yeah, it's gold pounds, gold quids.
Gold quids. Yeah, I knew it was something like that.
Okay, so as you're searching through this chest, you find what appeared to be 63 gold pieces. Nice.
63 quid.
Indeed. I'm not okay. Next to show you've searched it.
As the lieutenant stands over the injured man, deep in thought about the extent of his family's involvement in this ungodly business, the friar continues to search through the chest.
Friar's was counting out the money. You get to the bottom, Friar, and you find what appears to be a small necklace, one of those with a brooch with a picture in it. You open it up, there's a couple of pictures in it. You lift it out, and as he lifts this silver brooch out, you recognise this particular necklace. Lieutenant, you recall giving it to Juliette the day before you were supposed to be wed. And indeed, as you sort of clip open the clasp, Friar, you can see there's two little painted miniatures inside. One of them is of Lieutenant Uffington, and the other is of a beautiful looking woman who you would recognise, since you were supposed to perform the wedding, you recognise as Juliette, the missing fiancée of the Lieutenant.
Yeah, Fry, give us a butcher's at that. That's a tasty looking locket there, me old mucker.
No, I think, Big Mick, that this one is for the Lieutenant. And I will just hand it across to him.
Is that your bird?
In somewhat of a dream. Ignoring Mick's comments.
You take it and you look at it. You can see the serene, beautiful, with a slight tint of a smile on her face, the face of Juliette, your missing fiancée, staring up out of you from this painted miniature.
I shall look from her gorgeous features down at this man and put my hand on the hilt of my dagger. Kneel down next to him.
You see, he tries to scramble a bit out of the way, but he ain't going anywhere.
Where did this come from?
It's like the woman who was with us. It was hers.
What do you mean with you?
She was with us when we came down into the tunnels.
Prisoner, yes.
Yes. She was going to be the next vessel.
Just draw the dagger and hover over his head.
He's like, please, no.
I said, turn away. Where is she? Where are they?
I don't know. I'm telling you the truth. I assume she died with the rest of the Brotherhood.
How many of the Brotherhood were there?
6 and the woman.
Look at the others. We must go back now. I'll sheathe my dagger.
Okay.
I'll turn and start pacing away up down the corridor, and I'll stop because I've run out of light. Come on, man, bring the torch.
Alan Latham and Peter volunteer to carry the injured robed figure, and the group begins to backtrack, led by Lieutenant Uffington, desperate to find his missing fiancée. They pass the dead bodies of the zombies that they slew on the way before entering a familiar cavern.
I shall be foolhardy, cup my hands around my mouth and shout, Juliette! 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 As it echoes around, Juliette! 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 Just warning everyone in the cavern complex that we're here.
Yep. That is definitely what's going to happen.
Absolutely no chance of a wandering monster roll there.
Perhaps drawn by the lieutenant's echoing cries, the group hear heavy footfalls slowly getting closer to their position, although it's difficult to tell exactly where they're coming from due to the echoes in the cavern. Cautiously, they begin to move towards where they think the sound is coming from to investigate further.
See what appears to be a large crop of mushrooms on the edge of your torchlight, and what appears to be another skeleton sort of lying near to the mushrooms. It's covered in what appear to be, you think, probably spores from the mushrooms. They're a different colour to the dust. They're a sort of ochre colour.
Is there...
You can still hear that.
Yeah. So the skeleton is probably super old. Is there anything on it, or is it just bones?
Okay. As you're looking at the skeleton, all of the clothing, etc., is all rotted away. You can see what appears to be a short sword, which looks in a fairly good nick. There's 13 gold pieces, and what appears to be a small silver necklace with a small piece of jewellery that looks like a hand, like that, made of silver.
Sorry, Friar, are you taking this down?
Yes.
Yep, coolio. Let me have a quick glance at the short sword before we get charged by the behemoth coming at us.
Be careful around them mushrooms there.
Yeah, mushrooms are fine. That's not the problem here. Short sword, where is it? Ah, there we go. All right. Okay. Cool. So yeah, we packed the stuff away, presumably, like on the quick, and then, well, we can see with the lights. Aren't you?
Indeed, just on the very edge of your light, you can see what appears to be a very, quite a large but very sort of primitive-looking humanoid. So it's quite muscular, sort of stumbling forward as it takes a step. You can hear like the.
A humanoid, you say?
Indeed.
Is it wearing equipment?
You can't really see at the moment because it's like just in the very edge of your torchlight. However, as it continues to move forwards, you can see it's pretty much entirely naked apart from a loincloth, and it appears to be carrying like a large shard of rock as like an improvised club.
As the ogre continues to get closer, Jackdaw takes one last look at the skeleton by his feet and notices a small piece of parchment which may have once resided in a pocket but has now fallen into the rib cage of the body. He takes it out and unrolls it.
So I'm going to show this to you guys now.
He's just snapping them ribs for fun. He didn't actually need to do that.
Yeah, that's just for me.
I'm hoping you guys can see that now.
Yeah.
And then follow-up question: is this in Infernal?
No, it doesn't appear to be in any language any of you recognise. You expect it's perhaps like a code or a cipher.
Yeah, right. Pocket it.
That's fine. It's the pictures in your sort of treasure folder.
Yep. The note goes in the pocket.
As the ogre spots the heroes, it breaks into a loping run, but Jackdaw has a cunning plan.
I really don't want to, but I guess I'm the quickest. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to step with the quickness into the mushroom field. So I'm going to take like a couple of bounding steps into the field. So I'm going to ping like somewhere around here.
Okay, that's fine. Make me a Constitution roll.
Oh boy. There we go. Nope.
I told you to watch them mushrooms. My mother always said, don't mess about with dodgy mushrooms.
What you need to understand is if there's mushrooms, I'm going to be there.
He's in it.
I know that.
Okay, so
that's what I said.
As you like jump into this this pile of fungi that's growing seemingly from the rocks, there's like and this ochre cloud of spores that drifts into the air around you, causing you to cough and splutter. You lose 1 hit point.
Righto. As I'm coughing my lungs out, is the spore cloud? Is it thick enough to sort of like obscure sight?
Yeah, it's so thick it's almost like a mist, like a thick mist.
Which was like, this is exactly what I'm looking for. So I'm happy as I'm like, oh god, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna like purposefully like kick up a mushroom storm. My intent is to create as big a cloud as I can.
Okay, that's fine. So you kick up a mushroom storm. This huge, it's almost like, like the dust clouds in like the American Midwest, that sort of orangey sort of thick fog, almost like that rises up and hangs over this mushroom field. To the rest of you guys, you can probably barely see Jackdaw because the lights are reflecting off the spores.
And the other part is, of course, I'm making a lot of noise because I'm coughing, but I'm also like yelling with the intent, like I'm gonna try to lure the idiot here because it was super slow to notice us. So I'm guessing like if I make a lot of noise and do some weird mushroom cloud stuff, it might notice me and like head this way because it's like, oh, what is that? It is big.
Indeed. Okay, and speaking of Big Mick.
Damn.
Yeah, so how far am I away from it?
You're about 10 foot away from it.
Right, that's way too close. So, yeah, I will perform a strategic withdrawal.
Okay.
As Big Mick withdraws, the ogre is taken in by Jackdaw's ruse and wades into the big patch of fungi, kicking up a huge dust storm of these ochre spores. Both the ogre and Jackdaw begin coughing and spluttering as they breathe some of them in. As the ogre flails around, searching for the source of the movement within the mushroom patch, Jackdaw, covering his face against the spores, kicks a number of the large mushrooms, causing them to move and shed further spores, and then rolls out of the way, causing the ogre to lash out fruitlessly in confusion while it attempts to locate him. After a few moments of this, as the ogre coughs and splutters, obviously slightly weakened by the spores, Friar Dunstan and the lieutenant move in to support their comrade.
That's absolutely fine. Speaking of the good friar, is there anything you'd like to do, Friar Dunstan? You're muted.
I would like to spend this turn cutting a piece of cloth from a cloth sack that I have, covering it in water, and then putting it around my face and nose.
Nice. Yeah, you can easily do that in the space of a round. Just slop a bit of water in your water, you make like an improvised gas mask, effectively.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pop off one of the remaining big ones and try to do the same maneuver to get the third round in towards the murderizer strike.
Okay, go for it. Make another dex or charisma roll.
Yeah. Okay. Please, Gale. Please.
Oh, nice.
Okay, yeah. Again, you barrel roll to one side, kicking out at another one of these large mushrooms, which goes. As you do that, again, a few more spores come up, but not significantly enough to warrant another roll. As it sort of shakes about, you see the ogre as another one of these mushrooms starts moving.
Again, freeze, but this time there's an axe in the hand, because next time it's showtime, baby.
Okay, Big Mick.
Now, I see there may be a slight opportunity to slip by and, in fact, go back in the direction we were originally headed that was blocked previously by the ogre. Perhaps the rest of the group, whilst our fighting friends have got it engaged, we could slip by. Does that seem viable?
Yeah. If you guys want to do that, the ogre's attention seems wholly focused on this mushroom patch at the moment.
So I'll get Peter and the other lads and this injured fella, and be like, right, let's go, let's get by while this beast is occupied.
Okay, our Friar and Lieutenant, are you moving with him as well?
No.
Okay. So I'm making note that you're there, but I'm going to move the party token just so Mick can sort of see a bit down here.
I'm staying behind as well.
That's fine. Okay. So we come now to the NPCs. Again, the ogre splatters down with his stone club, trashing one of these mushrooms. You need to make another con save, Jackdaw.
Yep.
The ogre succeeds.
Come on, Gale. Just a little longer. No.
Okay. You take 2 hit points of damage.
Oh, still good.
Okay, you start some coughing and spluttering a bit, and you see the ogre's head turning around in that direction. Obviously, but he's already done his action for this turn. So, Lieutenant, you're now sort of pretty sure you know roughly where Jackdaw is. You've heard him coughing a lung up as these spores have gone up as the ogre's crushed a giant mushroom. What do you want to do, Lieutenant? You're muted.
Reluctant to engage, but I see what the friar's doing. So I whip out my my handkerchief.
Nice.
Don't have to cut some cloth and hold it over my mouth. So it's just so I can actually go with him. So basically, I'm just
okay.
Holding my action.
Just to let you know, guys, if you head into the spore cloud, you will still need to make a roll, but your roll will be a lot easier because you've got a bit of protection. Okay, so you're sort of ready to follow the friar in. Then we come to the friar himself, Dunstan.
Okay. So I would like to step into here and hit this guy.
Okay, make a Constitution roll.
Okay.
You are fine.
Okay. And then I will try and strike.
Okay, I'm pretty sure that's a hit. Let me just check.
Yep, boy.
It is indeed. Okay, so you've done the exact amount of damage you needed to take it down to 0 hit points.
Ooh.
So, describe how you fell this over.
So I guess as I'm kind of creeping up behind him, I'm just kind of going to trip over my feet and end up somehow putting my sword all the way through its chest and out the front.
Okay, so Jackdaw, you're crouched among your mushrooms. You've got your axe out. You're like a little further, a little further. Then you just like, and you just see this like fiery sword just like out of its chest. The ogre's like,
What is?
and then that falls over to one side with a loud, sending another cloud of spores up. Jackdaw and Fryer, please make a Constitution roll. As it like collapses into the mushroom field and sends a huge plume of spores up. You both fine?
That was a 20.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, so I like launch myself from the mushroom cloud, like just to make it clear of the cloud, and just like on all fours, and I'm just like like dry retching on the ground because I'm like suffused with the mushroom now.
Yeah, you're pretty shroomy. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I'm half mushroom now.
That's it. Okay, yeah, you easily get yourself out of the mushroom field. That's not a problem.
So since I'm in the field at the moment, can I examine the ogre and see if he has anything of interest?
You
And-
most certainly can.
After that, can I examine the floor to see if there's anything else in the kind of hidden in the dust cloud?
The players search the corpse of the ogre and find 120 gold quid tucked down the ogre's loincloth. More startlingly, they find 5 valuable gemstones lodged in the digestive tract of the creature.
This guy was balling. Like,
He's just been rolling around like killing fools and taking their stuff.
yeah.
Gemstones, there we go.
But the tables have turned on him now, haven't they?
Yeah, he was ready to retire. He was 2 days from retirement. And
Yeah.
That's it, he was just collecting his like ogre pension fund. Okay,
He was
so
probably on the way to the post office, wasn't he? Oh. We hit a mother load. Wow.
All we have to do now is survive.
That's some serious gems.
Serious shit.
I think it's time to get out of here and get a few drinks down my neck. That's what I think it is. Spend some of this fat loot.
The heroes continue moving, eager to locate the missing Juliette and get back to the surface. However, as they round a bend in the cavern tunnels, they see ahead of them a line of skeletal figures wearing metal lamellar armour, holding shields and stood almost as though in military precision. The line of skeletons snakes off into the darkness in front of them.
And are they moving at all?
they don't appear to be moving at all at the moment. They just stood stock still with like holding the spears like that. Their sightless eyes gazing ahead of them.
Stop and back away. Let's retrace our steps calmly.
Okay, as you say that and you start slowly backing away, with almost military precision, the skeletons begin to like lowering their spears as they march towards you. Would you all like to roll me initiative, please?
Choke point.
Not really.
Yeah, I'm on 3. Dunstan's on 7.
And then I would like to try and turn the skeletons.
Okay, make your roll for turning. Yeah, that is grand. So roll a d12 plus your modifier. Okay, lovely. So, what do you say as you step forward and you hold up the symbol of Gale that begins to glow with your faith?
So I'm very much calling on the power of Gale. So I'm like, by the power of Gale, I don't know what I'm can I say? Go away.
Sling your hook.
Piss off!
I love that. The power of Gale, sling your hook.
Gotcha.
Begone,
Get out of it.
evil. It's been a long week.
Might I suggest fiends, beasts?
But I do enjoy like the idea that like the friar is just like I'm tapped out. Let's just like go.
I command you in the name of God. Go on, get out of here.
Like I've been
Get out
through
of my
so
car.
much today. Like just please go.
Do you know what kind of day I'm having?
Oh,
But yeah, that's fine. So you hear the clattering of bones as the column of skeletons begins to retreat back down the passageway from whence it came.
so I will suggest to the others that they get after it, and I'll follow 15 or 20 feet behind.
With the skeletons recoiling from the faith of Friar Dunster, the heroes chase them down numerous cavernous corridors, launching attacks against them and slowly whittling the skeletons down until there is a mere handful of them remaining.
Lieutenant, can you finish it off?
Probably not, but I shall have a go. Oh, I forgot to say Gale. Damn. Next time, Gale.
Yeah, you need to say it before you roll, just like with inspiration.
Right, yeah.
Okay, NPCs still moving away from you. It's the big M himself,
The Big Mac.
the Mac Daddy.
That's less than 4.
Okay,
Unbelievable.
Fry's continuing to chant. Jackdaw.
Gale. And I just at this point I'm just like yelling the name, like Gale, and then swing. Gale, swing. No,
Unfortunately, it appears Gale has forsaken you for this round.
yeah, I need to articulate further.
Although maybe the luck will slough off onto the lieutenant.
Hmm.
Gale!
Roll your damage.
Die, creature of hell.
Okay, you smash this skeleton into oblivion as you call on Gale, Lieutenant. You can see there's only 2 of them remaining.
It works.
Okay, NPCs continuing to move away. Okay, as you start to move towards him, you can now see you're entering another area of light.
Of light.
Indeed.
Yep, this is gonna be good.
So as you start moving in, sort of like on the other side of the skeletons, you can see what appears to be like a pile of rubble in the middle of this cave, and there appear to be 3 or 4 guys stood around it, and you hear one of them shout, "Lads, we're under attack!"
Uh-oh.
Well, fuck.
Fear not, we hit nothing. You're quite safe.
We are entirely incompetent.
And you see these roughly dressed, sort of like thuggish looking individuals, like drawing short swords. Okay, Big Mick, still a couple of skeletons in front of you.
Skeletons are running though, aren't they?
And they are.
I think that's tying up. It's tying up the friar, so I will see if I can take out this skeleton.
Go for it.
In Dungeon World, I only need a 10. That's a 14.
It is a hit. Roll your damage. Unfortunately, it's not quite enough to kill it, but it's nearly dead.
Oh, I rolled the wrong
Smash
dice
it.
there.
Oh, what? Oh,
I rolled a
roll
D20.
your proper dice then.
I don't know. What is it for this bone club, John?
D6 plus 1.
Okay. There you go. Same.
Okay. No problem. So it's falling back like it's barely holding together now. The friar, presumably you continue to chant, friar.
Yes, but I would also like to call out to the bandits that we're only here for the skeletons and there's no need to attack us.
You hear the you hear like a sort of inarticulate like shout of reply. Then you hear someone's voice like from beyond the skeletons. Obviously, one of these guys go. Looks like a couple of them got past the blockade. It's like, go on, boys, give them some.
Okay.
Okay, Lieutenant.
Is it I? So it was Jackdaw.
Oh, my apologies. Yes, it is Jackdaw.
Gale! Again with the club. Nah, Gale has left me. I need to get a new god.
You've obviously been overusing his name.
Yeah, I my membership expired.
I shall holler, Gale.
It's a hit. Roll your damage.
Oh, good.
Okay, that finishes off that skeleton. There's literally one remaining now.
Oh, is it all yours, Mick?
Okay, NPCs. This skeleton is falling back here and it's going to attack this guy behind it.
Well.
Okay, it misses this guy because it's still trying to retreat from you guys, and you can hear the ting ting as he's like fending off its spear blows with his sword. He's like, fucking hell, lads, give us a hand. Okay, Big Mick.
I'm going to pitch a rock at the bandits, pick up the nearest rock and lob it at them. Say that, you fuckers.
Yeah, be careful with the rock.
Okay, which
Arseholes to ya!
which bandit are you throwing at?
Well, the nearest one. Not the one fighting the skeleton. One of the other two likely lads. Yeah,
okay, that's
that
fine.
guy.
Go for it. Make your attack roll. As you pick up a fist-sized rock. You go down, you start grabbing a big rock, you start to pick it up, and you feel your back go.
Oh, my back! My back's giving me chip.
Okay, Fry Dunstan.
I will. Shit.
Okay.
I will stop chanting and I will cast Soundburst somewhere here in the hope of catching all three of these bandits.
Okay, remind me what Soundburst does.
It is basically a 20-foot square. Let me just put out the text.
So you basically your best course of action is you'll be able to get the two that are sort of here, because obviously each square is 10 foot.
Okay. So basically it's 1d8 and then I have to make a saving throw or they are prone. Yeah.
Okay, yep.
Just do that. Oh, you were kidding me.
So that's the amount of damage they take, yeah?
Yeah, 2 points of damage, and then I can't remember. It is a wisdom save to avoid being stunned for 1 round.
Okay. First one succeeds. Second one fails. So this one here is stunned. So as you step forward, ceasing your chant, hold out your hand. There's this like orchestral like of sound. You see the sub bandits go like that, trying to cover their ears, and then one of them sort of collapses to the floor, his hands covering the side of his head.
The heroes, with the surprising aid of one of the bandits, manage to finish off the last remaining skeleton, and then turn towards this group of bandits/thugs, who aren't immediately leaping to attack them, but they're holding their weapons in a guarded stance.
The
Mexicans stand off.
The first one who got attacked is like, "Who are you? Where did you come from?"
Have you seen this woman, I'll say, holding the locket?
The bandit next to him leans in and whispers something to his ear, and he's like, yeah, it does, yeah. He's like, "Yeah, we've seen her. What of it? Killed one of my boys, she did.
She did what?
Killed one of my boys. If you've led her here, you're going to get the sharp end of this right up your jacksie."
No, I didn't leave her here. I'm looking for her. Which way did she go?
Like, "Down that tunnel there, but we've blocked it off. We can't have those things bubbling up."
Things?
Yeah.
Bleeding things? What are you...
He
That's his bird.
He with his boot, like keeping his sword on you with his boot, he like kicks of the skull of one of the skeletons. He's like, "Yeah, we can't have these like dead things like bubbling up out of the tunnels and taking us unawares."
Uh-oh.
We'll start moving towards the gestured tunnel.
Okay, I'll move the token so you can see it. So sort of up here, so in this direction, you can see there is a tunnel, but it looks like loads of like heavy rocks have been piled to block it.
Okay. Can I ask the bandit where the stairs lead?
He says, "Well, it's up to one of our storage houses."
And whereabouts is your storage house?
He says, south side of Bishopsgate.
Okay. And are you connected with the Brotherhood of the Laughing God?
The what?
Okay. So looking around, do they look impoverished, or do they look like they're well-to-do bandits?
They're not like dripping in bling, but they're also not wearing like pauper's rags, so presumably they do all right for themselves. As you're sort of like looking them over, you hear like a groan, and the one who was stunned is like climbing to his feet, and he's like, "Fucking hell, I think they fucking done me."
Okay.
Like, "What the fuck was that? My head's banging."
Okay. Okay. So then I'll just call out to the lieutenant and ask, does he want to follow her into the tunnel?
Indeed. I'll lean down and start shifting rocks. Bending my knees. I've seen Big Mick.
Okay, no problems. Now you can see that this rock pile they've made, which like I say is here, they've packed it in pretty tightly. It's going to take you some time to like shift it.
Okay. So can I suggest then to the party that we take some rest, and potentially start again after a rest?
I'm going to have a word with these bandits.
Yeah, well, we're not in combat rounds anymore, so feel free.
Are they got like, whilst these fellas are doing a bit of rock moving and contemplation?
Yeah.
Have I got like a little bit of thieves' cant or a few hand signals, sort of?
Yeah, you know a bit of the lingo.
Yeah, that I could throw these guys like nudge, nudge, wink, wink. These guys are a bunch of crazy people.
You see one of them sort of raises his eyebrow, then another sort of looks over, and he's like, "Wow!" He gestures with like a jerk of his head towards the lieutenant, who's sort of like frantically like shifted a bit of rocks, and he's like, "Well, Samuel, he does have a bit of that look about him." He's like, "Well, you're not wrong there." He's like, "What do you mean, crazy person?"
Well, see, so and I like have a little look around, see, yeah. He's looking for his long lost love. Like, are you telling me she's some sort of monster now? Because she didn't look too bad in the photo I saw, in the picture I saw.
He's like, wow, she don't look too fucking bad now, but I'll tell you what she did to my friend was fucking terrible, mate. I ain't never seen nothing like it in my life. We got that tunnel bricked up quick smart, we did.
So what did she do? Oh, it don't make any sense to me. What? What happened there?
He looks across at you and he's like, so he sort of gestures for you to like come in a bit closer, and like leans in right close to you, and he's like, listen, he goes, I don't blame you if you don't believe me. I wouldn't have believed it myself if I hadn't seen it with my own fucking mince pies. Fucking came out of that tunnel, just grabbed him round the neck and just tore his head clean off with her bare hands. She was only a little thing as well, a little slight thing. At first, we thought she was like someone lost down here, so we were like, we went over to see if we could help, and my old friend Martin, go rest his soul, next thing I know, she just tore his head off, blood everywhere. Then she like
clean off?
Yeah. Dragged
with her bare hands?
Yeah, with her bare fucking hands. Then I dragged him off into the tunnels, into the darkness, dropped his torch, it went out, everything went dark. By the time we got him late, she'd gone with him. And I was like, right, well, he's obviously done for. Fucking ain't no one surviving without their head. So I was like, right, get some rocks in that fucking tunnel.
Stoner crows, I've heard it all now.
He said, well, I don't blame you if you don't believe me. I would have believed it myself if I hadn't seen it.
Well, I believe you, Governor. I'll tell you, you don't make stuff like that up.
He points sort of further down the corridor, and you can see there's actually like a sort of like a dull patch of like red on the floor, and he's like, you see that there? That's where it happened. Fucking blood everywhere it was.
That's a bit tasty. I don't like the sound of that.
Gives me the heebie-jeebies just thinking about it.
So why are you still hanging around down here then? Why ain't you got out of it?
He's like, well, we were just about to take our stash and like get while the going's good, and probably like brick up the stairway as well. And then obviously we heard you lot coming.
So this weren't too long ago then?
It weren't too long ago, but like I say, we did have a few others down here, but they've gone up ahead. And he jerks his thumb at the stairs, heading up behind him. Says that they've gone ahead to make sure the safe house is still safe. We had a few others down, we bricked it up quick, smart, and we were just about to grab our loot and get going, but then, we heard like the fighting, like the echoes coming down. Thought we were about to get attacked by more of those things, and then when you jokers turned up, didn't you?
Well, I'll tell you what, don't mess with these fellas. They're like proper fighters and soldiers and cutthroats and everything.
It's like, listen, mate, I can tell you're like a working man like myself. Look, we ain't looking to mess with no one after what we've seen. We just want to get our stuff, get up there, pull the ladder up, and forget this whole fucking thing happened.
I don't blame you. I'm starting to think the same myself. Slaughter Ward, born and bred, mate. I ain't down for none of this getting shanked by bony skeleton things coming to life.
No.
Bloody crocodiles in the water, tentacles wrapping around your throat, strangling your breath out of you as you stand there.
It's like, I know it's getting so an honest thief can't make a fucking living.
I know. Yeah, bloody hell. Honest thievery ain't what it used to be, I can tell you that.
What happened to the days when you could just cut someone's purse off a belt, make yourself a few coins, happy days, no one got hurt, no messing about. Now you
nice little protection racket. That's what you want.
Now you can't even go stash your loot in a fucking cave. Like, just keep it a bit on the safe and all without fucking horrible, like, pasty-faced women coming out and ripping your mate's fucking head off.
And if that don't get you, the bleeding plague will.
And he's getting a bit loud as he's like obviously getting animated. And he's like, coming out, mug, ripping you, mate. So like, the rest of you can hear that bit of the conversation.
Dear, oh dear, I don't know. Well, I'll have a word with these fellas and see what's what.
He says, well, you do what you want. We're getting our stash and we're getting out of here. If you want to use the stairs, you're fucking welcome. But I won't hang around. We're going to cave them in. We ain't having nothing coming up out the cellars.
Nah, I don't blame you. don't blame you. But best of luck to you.
He's like, "Come on in, boys, get the loot." And like, a couple of them sort of move around to this like pile of rubble. They shift some of it off and they pull out what appears to be a large clay urn, so like carrying it between the two of them, and they start heading towards these stairs. They're moving a little bit slowly because they're manhandling like this massive urn.
Well, I'm going over to the friar.
Yeah, no problems.
Is the lieutenant still moving rocks?
So it's up to you, Lieutenant. Are you still moving rocks?
I'd have moved a couple, and then from what the friar was saying, I think he's probably right. I'm feeling a bit drained, so we need to rest. But yeah, so I've momentarily paused, and I'm just leaning one hand against the rock formation and just thinking.
There you go.
So I will kind of relatively low-key kind of suggest that we follow the bandits up the stairs, we prevent them caving in the stairs, we get some rest, we recuperate, and then we can come back down tomorrow and find the Juliette.
I'm not going back up top yet without her.
By this time, the two bandits have gone up the stairs with the urn, and the other two are sort of starting to head over towards the stairs.
Lieutenant, now listen, I appreciate that I don't know much about this predicament you're in, but I was just chatting with that geezer, and I think he was being straight up when he said that the woman fitting the description of Juliette ripped his mate's head off with his bare hands, and you're standing on the blood that was left behind. That sounds a bit iffy.
That sounds totally implausible. The man, I don't know what he is. But
why would he?
I don't believe
Why
it.
would he make it up? I mean, something's gone on. Something's happened to her. I'm just saying, you do what you want, but you need to prepare yourself for the worst. That's all I'm saying.
I'm prepared.
Well, I'm glad you are. Because I can't say as I am.
Yeah, I'll sit down on a couple of stones that I've moved to one side with my back to the wall and just lean my head against it and just watch what everyone's doing.
Okay, by this time the last two bandits have gone up the stairs. You are now only sort of navigating by your own lights as they've taken their lanterns with them.
I will sit down relatively close to the lieutenant and I guess start preparing to rest.
You're bloody nutcases. I'm going up the stairs.
Yeah, see you in the morning.
I'll go up them stairs and see if I can persuade them to leave this stairway clear and something along those lines.
Okay.
Negotiate.
What do you intend to say to them to persuade them?
So would it just be like them guys I was just chatting with, John?
It's them and like three others, which are presumably the ones they said they went ahead of us to make sure the safe room was safe. And you're in what appears to be the cellar of a small building, like sort of stone cellar, which obviously this connects to this sort of this underworld. And you can see they're all sort of getting ready. The as you emerge, the three like haven't been involved in your conversation, so like draw the weapons, and the guy you've been
Easy,
talking,
lads, easy.
the guy you've been talking to is like, don't worry about it. It ain't more of those things. Couple of fucking chumps down there who've been like rooting around. I said, if they want to get out while the going's good, they could use the stairs. But I told them we're going to take them down soon.
Yeah, I've got a bit of a problem here, lads.
Well, what's that?
I hate to ask, but I need a bit of an extension on this stoving in the staircase. These couple of fellas, they're not coming out. I don't know what to say, really. I mean, I can't persuade them. I mean, I want to get them out of there. I told them this woman they're looking for. I told them what you said, rip heads off and blood and, all the claret on the floor. But they're having none of it. They're having none of it.
The fellow who identified himself as Samuel, who you've been talking to, is like, sounds more like a fucking you problem than it sounds like a problem for us.
Yeah, but see, that guy down there is proper nobility and everything. I think he might even be related to royalty. I mean, there's good allies to have, lads, I'm telling you.
It's like, let me tell you what's got two thumbs and doesn't give a fuck about that.
I just laugh at him. Nice. I like it. I like his style, bro. That's good. Yeah, I'll have to remember that one. It's a good one.
He's like, you can have that one.
Nice.
He's like, listen, he's like, fucking nobles ain't never done any good for us, and I certainly ain't risking the health of me or my boys just so some poncy noble can like get himself killed down there, probably looking for some woman who rips heads off. Fuck that.
I know, man. I know. I know.
It's like not even if you offered us like a shed load of gold for it. One of the others is like, whoa, hold up a sec, Sam. How much gold would you offer us to like leave this stairway for a bit?
I don't know. I ain't got no gold, man.
He's like, at which point Sam was like, right, fuck it, that staircase is going down there.
Well, I could have a word with him.
Look, I'll give you a few minutes, says Samuel.
How much? What? I mean, look, I'm caught in the middle, man. You got to understand.
Listen. Like I can see, you're a working fella like myself.
That's it. What are you looking for? What are you like? I'll get you a deal.
I'll give you my word. He like spits on his hand and holds it out. Yeah. I'll give you my word that if you go down and talk to him, I won't collapse it until you come back up, unless you're longer than a fucking hour.
No. I'll be 5 minutes. How much? What are you looking for? What sort of deal? How much? What are you looking for?
He says,
and I'll see what I can do.
He says, well, we are putting our lives in danger. Not just our lives, if these things get out through here, the lives of everyone in Bishopsgate. He says, well, got to be a couple of £1,000.
£1,000? Couple of thousand? It ain't going to buy that.
You're putting the old safety of Bishopsgate at risk. I think a couple of £1,000's getting off lightly.
Well, like I say, I'll ask him, what about, is there another exit? If this goes bad, just do it. Is there another way out of here you know of?
As well, these old tunnels down there, I'm sure they connect to all sorts of buildings, but it's not like I've got a map of them or anything. We mostly just use the area around here to like stash stuff in, so like if anyone comes around, we hide the entrance to the tunnel in here. We can say, oh no, officer, we haven't got any like stolen goods here. You know how it goes. You know the game.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, right. Well, I'm going to tell him 2,000 gold, and you'll give us some time. How long are we talking? How long?
Well, how long do you want?
I don't know.
I mean, what? If you're talking like a week, then I'm gonna say it's gonna be more than 2,000. If you're talking like a day, I could probably do a day, but can't do much more than that. I mean, like I say, if those things get out, it's not just us we've got to worry about. It's everyone about here. I mean, seeing what that fucking thing did to Martin, we can't have things like that roaming around in the city. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'll steal a beggar's fucking food out of his mouth if I'm hungry, but I'm not up for just like straight up killing people. That's not my line of business.
Nah, that's right. I know.
Listen,
you're talking.
I
understand what you're saying. For 2,000 quid, if you can sort out a couple of days,
A couple of days. Come on, come here and throw it.
I've got. You got to give me some slack here, man. I've got to go back down, have a word with them.
I'll tell you what.
They're gonna
make it 2,500. I'll give you 2 days.
Well, I'll tell them I don't think they'll buy it, but at least if I say, it's 2.5K, maybe they'll change their mind and just come out now and then happy days.
Right. He's like, 2,500, I'll give you a day. And he spits on his hand and holds it out.
Wait, 2 days, 2.5.
All right, 2 days. Go on then.
I don't know why I'm shaking you around. I'll be lucky to be alive in 2 hours, let alone 2 days. Jeez, you have the shirt off me back. Bleeding hell. Right, I'll be back in a minute. Hang on.
Yeah, see you are. If you ain't back within an hour, that's there.
Yeah, I'm going straight down there now. I don't want to hang about in this poxy place.
Yeah, at least someone's got a bit of fucking sense.
That's right. And off I head.
Yeah, you head back down to where your fellows are starting to look around and look out and get their.
I haven't moved this fast in years.
Yeah, big Mick comes up hustling back down the stairs, looking a bit flustered,
sweating and red faced. Oh. Right, I'll tell you now, lads. They're serious. They're going to shut us down here. They want 2.5K to keep that way out open. I'm just telling you. Just telling you. That's what they said. If we don't go out of here now, they're going to stove in that way out, and we're going to have to find our own way. And if you want to stay down here and get your head ripped off, you've got 2.5 days. If you give them 2.5K, or no, 2 days, 2.5K. They're not messing about, I tell you.
Well, they'll get nothing from me. That priestly type over there knows the way out.
You know the way out, Friar?
Not Friar.
Oh.
The other guy in the robes.
Oh, him. He knows another way out, does he?
Yeah, he came down more.
Is he still conscious?
Nope. Obviously, he's got a broken leg and he's been carried around by 2 NPCs for the last couple of hours.
And somebody stepped on his leg a number of times.
Is he alive still?
I tell you what, why don't you roll me a D6, Mickey boy?
Mickey boy, we'll roll a D6. This bloke's got 0 chance of still being alive.
No, brown bread.
Brown bread. Ah, fucking hell, we caught him around. He's brown bread. Taking a piss. Got no staying power.
At which point, Peter, who's holding him, drops him on the floor. He's like, fuck, Harry.
Fuck that way.
I thought he'd gone quiet.
Oh, this has gone south, big style.
How many bandits are up there, Mick?
Well, there was a couple and then a few more. I think, is it about half a dozen?
There's 7.
Oh, 7. Yeah.
Okay.
Half a dozen and 1.
Okay. So it seems we have a few options.
We don't need him anymore anyway. We'll find our own way out.
Just as well.
So I will give Mick the emerald and the amethyst, which is worth $12.50.
Yep.
And suggest that he counter offers with these 2 gems available now, and a further promise of the same again in a week's time for 2 days.
Okay.
So what are you planning to do, mate? Are you going back up with the counter offer?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so you head back up. You can basically see that while you've been down there chatting, they've got a load of what appears to be wood and a couple of containers of oil that they've sort of stacked up next to this staircase. There's also some large rocks and rubble and masonry they've stacked. Basically, they're getting ready to chuck the oil and the wood down, set fire to it, and then bung a load of rocks down after it. to like collapse it. But obviously they've just sort of got it ready to go. They're all just sort of like stood around waiting for you to come back. When you like pop back up, Samuel was like, "What's the word there?"
Right, well, it's good news. Yeah, I got 1250 in easily managed gems, lads, and your man's word to pay the rest, the balance, in a week's time.
He's like, "Wow, I don't mean to like call your friend's word or anything, but I don't know him."
Yeah, but fair's fair. We don't know you either, and it's a lot of readies to produce out of thin air. I mean, this guy had to bust it out of his right noble gem, and I wouldn't like to tell you where this other little gem come from either.
He's like, "Look, he's like, I'm not saying how I'm going to do this, but you just rolled up here with like 2 gems that ain't worth what we were asking. What's to stop us from like taking them 2 gems off you and collapsing the stairway anyway?"
Pirate code, mate.
Do I look like a fucking pirate?
Well, I thought it sounded good. Anyway, you
Don't
want more
get
work?
me wrong. I like your style, but is that look? We agreed on two grand for like 2 days.
Yeah, well,
and now you're rocking up here with like 1250, saying that like you can get us more in a week.
don't shoot the messenger, man.
Is that common? I'm going to need a bit more of a solid assurance than like my mate's giving his word. After all, what's to stop you guys once you get up here going like, "Oh, fuck that," and just like disappearing? Plus, I've seen you're all a bit tasty. You took on them skeletons down there. What's to stop you babbling up out of there and taking us out, taking your gems back and being off on your Todd?
Not a lot. You're right.
Yeah, I mean, look at it from my perspective. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm trying to help you out here, but look at it from my perspective.
Yeah, I hear you, bruv. Yeah. I mean, what can I say? If you cave in this thing, that's it. I mean, you know.
Actually, he says, I do have a bit of a counter offer for you.
Go on in.
I tell you what, that 1250 you've got there, say I just take the 1k for now. I'll give you the 2 days. Now, as you know, we lost a few people down there. Now we've got a bit of a score going down in a couple of days, and as it happens, I find myself a little bit short-handed, if you know what I mean. Now, I've seen you fellas down there. I know you're a bit tasty. All I'm saying is, you give me the 1k. Help us out in a couple of days with our score. We'll call it quits. I'll give you the 2 days. How's that sound?
Well, I'm up for that, and there's definitely one fella down there who's up for it. The other one's a bit of a religious type.
Well, I'll tell you what. Take the offer down there to your boys. Like I say again, I'll give you another hour to fucking talk to them about it. See what they say, then we'll see where we go. Can't say fairer than that, can I?
No, you can't. You ain't got like a brandy or a whiskey or anything before I go, have you? I mean, I'm getting a bit. I could do with a little bit of a sniff though. Is it a drive?
He looks over at one of the other bandits and he's like, "Isaiah, we still got that bottle of wine you piped the other day." He's like, "Yeah, I think we've got half the bottle left, Samuel." And he's like, he passes over like a fairly standard bottle of wine.
Yeah,
that they obviously robbed from somewhere. He passes you the half a bottle and he's like, "There you go, gesture of goodwill, knock yourself out."
Yeah, I need to have a little breather here. Hold on. Much obliged.
It's actually not a bad wine there. It's more sort of like, oh, this has been nicked from someone's like wine cellar or like a wine delivery rather than like they've robbed it out of some shonky tavern.
Oh, that's not bad. Right, I'll be back in a minute then. And off I go.
Don't go bast in a blood vessel.
No, I'll try not to.
Yeah, and you like jog back down the stairs.
Right. We've got another offer. These fellas, they got a little bit of a job going down and they're saying they want a bit of assistance. So, they'll give us 2 days if we give them 1,000. They'll keep it open for 2 days, but they want us to offer our assurances that we're going to assist them on a job they got. What do you reckon?
Who's the mark?
No, I don't know. I don't want to ask too many questions. It's like running out of inspiration up there.
Well,
They didn't want to go for the 12.50 later.
I'll help them out.
Well, that's on your word as a gentleman, obviously. They're going to ask me that.
Mm-hmm.
I said probably a couple of us not too worried, but I weren't sure how your soldiering code of chivalry, me whatnot, nobleness would go.
Well, if we make contact, we may need their assistance later.
But they don't seem too bad. Pretty
Thinking
regular
ahead.
bunch.
Yeah, would you like to come back with you?
It probably wouldn't hurt. It might lend a certain gravitas to the whole proceedings.
Right. I'll push myself up.
Okay, so are any of the rest of you going up, or is it just the lieutenant and Big Mick?
What about you, Friar? How's your scruples? Need I ask?
I will do whatever the lieutenant needs done to find his lady.
Yeah, I'm starting to think that. Right.
But maybe find out who the mark is before you commit us.
Oh, okay. I'll see. I'm not going to push the issue. I think their patience may be wearing a little thin. I know mine is. All right, I shall. After you, then, your lordship. Let's go.
While all this tomfoolery is going on, what's Jackdaw up to?
He never left the shadows.
Just like,
Yeah, so it's just been like, because I was stalking the guys as they were taking their loot up, looking for like if they're gonna throw down.
If you want to make a sneak roll, you can be upstairs already.
Yeah, let's try that. Here we go. Gale, yes.
Yeah. You basically actually like snuck up the stairs before they took their loot up. So you've seen them like getting all this stuff ready. And just to like summarize it, originally they were like, all right, we're going to throw all this oil and this wood, we're going to set it all on fire, we're going to put the rock, we're going to block this shit off, then we're going to relocate, forget this whole thing ever happened, and we're never going to speak of this again. And then obviously like Mick came up, and you obviously heard him giving the offer and all the banter that went on there, and they were like, oh yeah, you know, a bit of a profit. They're obviously like profit motivated. And every time like the first time Mick went down, one of the other bandits suggested Samuel. He was like, oh yeah, maybe like if they don't want to go for that, maybe we could like get a bit of help because we lost a few boys in the tunnel. It's like, oh, if we're gonna like rob that shipment of wine and ales, you know, we're gonna need like a few boys to like help us out. And the wagon cart's coming in from the north and heading to Bridgetown in like a few days. So we ain't gonna have time to like recruit anyone else. At which point Samuel was like, yeah, maybe we'll see. And then he has the whole second conversation with Mick, where he's like, I'll take $1,000 and you helping us out. So you know that they're planning there's some sort of wagon train coming into Great London in the next few days. It's making its way to the market, presumably on Bridgegate, and it's going to be stocked with what they call like fancy ales and wine, so basically like stuff that's not the shit you get in taverns. And they're basically planning to pike it, and then they're going to sell it for a ridiculous markup to like said taverns. Is pretty much their plan.
Yep. So I'm still hidden upstairs.
Okay, so you're hidden up there when all the rest of your companions come upstairs. You can see the bandits are all stood around, obviously waiting for you.
Right, get up first, though. As we'll nod at them.
They give you
we've
the
heard your offer.
the old.
This is the lieutenant. I'll allow him to introduce himself. This is These are the fellas that are looking for our assistance, Lieutenant.
Uffington. Does that name mean anything to you?
He says, yeah, I know it. He says, well, I'm Samuel Peel. And these here are my boys. Pleasure to make your acquaintance.
Mr. Peel, we shall assist you in your endeavour as part of this deal.
Right, well, all I need is the grand then, and I'll give you 2 days.
No,
I don't care how you want to fork it over, gold, gems, whatever. And he sort of holds a hand out.
What was the breakdown with? Yeah, I got the gems. What was the breakdown on the gems? I got 2 gems. Was one of them worth a foul? The emerald.
It's the emerald. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. There you go, boys.
Okay,
a nice emerald there.
So cross the emerald off your list. Samuel turns around and passes it to one of the others, and he's like, "Barnard, what'd you make of that?" He looks at it, takes out some like chipped spectacles from his pocket, puts them on, and he's like, looks all right, Sammy. Looks all right. Yeah, reckon we can go through the right people. We'll get a grand for this. And he passes it back to Samuel and like tucks it in a pocket on his jerkin, and he's like, right, well, let me explain to you about this caper we got going on. It's like 3 days time. There's a wagon cart coming in,
And at this point, I'll step out from wherever I'm hidden and like lay out the rest of his plan.
Yeah, so he's like, well, I'll leave you to do your explanation, but he goes, listen, in like 3 days time, then take it away as you step out of it.
Yeah, there'll be a caravan.
Fuck you know.
Of luxury ales and wines.
They also draw their sword off, so thinking like, someone dad's come to get them, and then they see it's you, and they're like,
Yeah. And then we'll nick it as it's being transported, and we'll turn it over to the gentleman over here, and they will presumably sell it for great profit, and our relationship will be solidified. Isn't that right? And I turn to the boss man.
he's like, yeah, that's right. It's like the merchant Aloysius is bringing it in. He always he's got a wagon train that travels around the Avonlands. Even goes up as far north as Scotland, gets some of the speciality ales and like vintages from around the country. Sells them at a hefty price. I'm thinking we nick them, we can undercut him because it ain't fucking cost us anything, and we can still make ourselves a pretty penny into the bargain. But like I say, we lost a few fellas down there, so we're a bit short-handed. It's only in 3 days, so I ain't got time to recruit anyone through normal channels. But that's where you fellas come in. So I saw you were a bit tasty down there. Telling your friend here, I saw you were a bit tasty down there when you were dealing with them things. And obviously I'm taking a bit of a risk here, because, well, if during them 2 days you get yourselves killed down there looking for your lady love and whatnot, well, I'm still going to be out a few fellas, isn't it?
Tell me about it. You said she tore off the head of one of the old men.
Fucking hell, don't make me think about it. It was horrible. But yeah, that's right, that's what I saw. My mate Martin, well, my second Martin, he was down there, and well, before we bricked the tunnel up and whatnot, well, we saw this woman all dressed in like sort of ragged white clothes, and at first we thought, oh, you know, someone's got lost down here, they probably need a bit of help. Like we offered you, we'll get her up the stairs, let her about her business back into the city. So Martin went, because he was on lookout, he went a bit closer, you know, like with his lantern, just to check if he was all right. And he just like grabbed him round the neck and like she was popping a cork off a bottle of fucking wine.
Okay, I'll keep my mouth shut, but I'll just nod and turn and retrace my steps back downstairs.
Yeah, as you trace his way downstairs, you can hear he's obviously got into his flow. He carries on talking, you hear him like, and then like by the time his torch fell on the ground and went out, And by the time we got the torches relit, she'd dragged his body off down the tunnel and they both disappeared. So we got it bricked up quick, smart. And obviously you hear that sort of fading away as you're walking back down the stairs. Right, well, turning to the rest of you, says Samuel, you got your 2 days. He says, no, I'm a fair man, so he says, I'll tell you what, he said, I reckon we've got like another 4 hours till midnight, give or take. He says, so I ain't going to start the clock until the stroke of midnight. Then we know it's definitely 2 days. Can't say fairer than that, can I?
Can't say fairer than that, Mr. Pilt. Pleasure doing business with you, and hopefully...
Likewise, what was your name anyway, fella?
I'm Big Mick.
Now, what's your actual name? Never mind your fucking nickname.
Big Mick. Butcher.
Fucking hell, not Frank Butcher's little lad.
That's the fella. Me.
Hell. Wow.
You know the old man. You know me, old man, do you?
He says, wow, I've heard the fucking stories. Bit of a legend back in his day, it was, before you all went legit.
Well, you don't want to believe all them stories about him going legit.
He says, well,
know what I'm saying?
Don't get your loincloth in a twist. I ain't saying anything bad about him. I never had any trouble with him. And I heard he always looked after his own. And that's what we got to do, I think. So like you say, people who've got all the money, they ain't going to look after us, are they? If we don't look after each other, who is?
Correct. That is quite right.
And that's what me and my boys do. We rob things from people who've got too much, and we sell it at a reasonable price to people who ain't got too much.
And you make, make a fair cut.
I'm a fucking entrepreneur.
That's right, a businessman. That's what my old man always says.
That's right.
Proper businessman.
Anyway, you got your 2 days. I suggest you use them wisely. He says, I'll tell you what, since we're all getting on so well and it all seems to be so nice, and this could be a promising business relationship for the both of us, I'll tell you what, when we get into the point where, like, you've got maybe an hour left before we, like, doing the stairs, we got a big old bell up in the main building here. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll get one of my boys to, like, ring that bell. So if you hear, like, a loud clanging noise, we're about to, like, bring it down.
Well, that's awfully good of you. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Yeah, can't say fairer than that, and I hope I'm out of here long before there's any bell ringing going on.
Well, yeah, so do I. Be a shame for a likely-looking young fella like yourself to meet your end down there in the darkness. I don't like to think of it for anybody. Not even your hoity-toity friend there.
Nah, it's a rough old business.
Yeah, terrible business.
Yeah.
Well, that's the way of the world, isn't it, now? I mean, what with the plague and whatnot. Terrible.
Yeah, well, I suppose I better go and help him out with this. Moving these rocks and whatnot.
Hopefully I'll see you all before the 2 days is out.
Much obliged, yeah. Much obliged.
You're welcome, Squire.
Oh, well, toodaloo.
He gives you the up nod. Okay, so you're all gathered back in the cavern. You've got 2 days.
I suggest we rest. It's been a long, long day.
Yeah, agreed.
Okay, no problem. So you all start.
You don't need to tell me twice.
Okay, so you all start making ready to rest. And that is where we're going to end the session for this evening. We will pick up next time with you guys having rested. And obviously you can try and clear the tunnel if you wish. You can try whatever else you want, etc. I hope you've all enjoyed the session, guys. Thank you very much for playing. Obviously, I'll work out XP probably either tomorrow or the day after, and sort of let you know via the Facebook group about that. I'm happy to chat for a little bit afterwards, but for now I'm just going to say thanks to our players, thanks for those watching this game either now or in the future, and hopefully we'll catch you for the next episode when maybe we'll find out a bit more about the Lieutenant's lost love. So until then, take care. We'll catch you soon.
See ya.